Hi guys,
Hello,
I'm Eric.
I'm Robin.
Wanderboom here.
So what are we doing here?
We are doing our tour.
Finally doing our own van tour.
Our own van tour.
Because we feel like the bus is finally kind of almost done. And it hasn't been.
Never really totally done, but
No, then that's fine.
there's always things
We
that are
like
going to
that.
change and adjust. But we finally got like more of the exterior stuff wrapped up. And, the way I had kind of originally had in mind that maybe we would do it. And, we finally got it where it looks good. And we got some more
Right.
storage and
Really
got
like
stuff
it.
off the roof now, so we don't have to worry about that. We really figured we needed to get rid of some weight.
And we did.
So, yeah.
Got rid of a lot of weight, yeah.
And again, people have wondered about the weight because of doing wood the way we've done it in here, and we're going to show you some more details of how I did all that. But again, it's cedar. This is called lightweight red western cedar, and most of it's really light. It's
So light.
yeah, it's very light.
Yeah.
I mean, in one aspect of that, it's also fairly soft. So we can. There's been a fair amount of little dings happening here and there.
And
getting
we've just
banged
gotten
up.
over that because that's just going to be how it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that was the case, being that we were going to use cedar. So, again, the two top countertops, which are the walnut, are extra heavy duty, but they're, again, they're not that heavy. The sink cutout on the one side makes that one a little lighter, and so that's not our big weight issue. Our issue was just having too
all
much.
the extra tools.
Yeah, tools and other things piled. We decided if we're gonna do a tour anywhere, we're gonna do it here at the Alabama Hills.
Yeah.
I mean, with the perfect backdrop. So
Right off Movie Road.
yeah, and obviously the gorgeous location to hang out for a couple of days and shoot the videos we need to do this.
Right.
Oh, perfect.
The design is spot on for our purposes. What we figured out over the past year is that this space works perfect for us. There's nothing that we want to necessarily change about it. We don't mind making the bed every night. It's no big deal to us. It's very quick. It's like literally a minute.
Maybe a little more, like 3, but
Yeah, but still.
but even then,
time
yeah,
it. Yeah, if I really tried hard.
yeah, some
if we
people,
tried
and
hard.
again, if you're designing your rig and you want to have your bed permanent, make your bed permanent.
Right,
And,
yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
just
we
personal.
we have counters on both sides because we wanted more counter space. Where I think you see a lot of rigs where they'll have their bed is permanent in the back. They'll have counter space on one side with the sink, but then the other side they'll put a little kit, a little dinette thing or a little.
Because
a little
they
seating
need a
area.
workspace.
And which can work as a desk. And again, that's
Right.
great. That's perfectly cool. Again, that's the most amazing thing we've learned about this is the variety of what people can do in a small
amazing.
space like this.
And such creative designs,
and again,
too.
we watched a ton of videos about sprinters and other vehicles beforehand.
Which is what we thought we were going to
Yeah,
do.
and so,
Yeah.
but then when we decided on going with the shuttle bus, it changed the parameters quite a bit. Again.
So I'm in our lounger. When we designed this, we wanted to have kind of a sectional because we wanted to both be able to sit with our feet up or sit normally or do all kinds of things. Now this little thing, this is our rolling bar stool that Eric made for us. And it kind of works as an ottoman. It's not quite finished. He has a little more work to do on that.
Yeah.
But, so, it works as an ottoman, it works as a stool, it works as a seat, as storage. Yeah, thanks. So, this is, I'm another
Comfy and
loungy, So here's our Lagoon table leg. We love this thing. Tighten her up. And then we get our table. There's the magic table hander. Eric made this table out of reclaimed redwood. And then he did the edge with the walnut, which is really nice. So, I have it on there a little high. But this is where we eat. Play cards, have games, have company, do all kinds of stuff here. And it can go all over the place, so, I want to just kind of get it out of the way. Works out good. We love it. So we have all of our throw pillows, as you see, but these pillows are special. Now these pillows belong to Maria Jose and Chase from Tio Aventura, and we had a free table in Ehrenberg after Schoolapalooza, and these showed up on those, and I'm like, I'm taking them. They're awesome. They work great. The color's great. You can unzip them and wash them. So they're just very colorful, and we love them. So thank you, Maria Jose and Chase, for those. We really enjoy them. So this is one of our pieces of art. It's a oil sketch from a friend of ours named Mitchell Johnson, who's a very pretty renowned Bay Area artist at this point. Eric made sure that this painting would fit here when we designed the space, just like our other painting, which we'll show you in a minute. And then he made these killer shelves with part of the walnut, the dark walnut, which contrasts with that lighter cedar. So it just looks really great. It's very prairie style, kind of Japanese inspired.
Things are a little jumbled from driving, but...
Yeah. And that just happens. So we kind of have a way to put stuff on the shelf so that it stays. I actually, to keep Dino safe, I put the poop pillow up there. That's what I do for travel. Dino I made in 6th grade. And he's one of our many friends that we have kept.
What's up over here?
So those are magnets that people have given us. Our thermometer. Eric made some really cool doors, and so we put the metal on so that we could put the magnets on there. This one's my favorite. So here's where we store all our hats, or our brim hats I should say, because we have other hats up front. But these are the ones we don't wear very often, but it's kind of cool. So we have them on this hook, which works. And then these are our hats. They just all kind of go on top of each other. Eric's got his couple of fedoras. Works good. So Eric was very thoughtful. For me, knowing that I would be on this side of the bed because I always have to be closest to the bathroom. That is the drill. No matter where we are, if we're in a hotel, it doesn't matter. I'm on the side closest to the toilet. We knew this would be my side. Eric made me this wonderful cubby. So I have plug-ins here for my iPhone. I have my charger that I can plug in for my Fitbit. My glasses, I keep other stuff there when I'm sleeping. I can keep Kleenex or whatever. It's just really nice. He did not make one for himself.
What's that hanging there?
No. Well, this is the fob for our heater that Eric just installed a couple weeks ago. It works great. I can just be laying in bed and just hit that on button. Bing. And... Sorry. Who's the cinematographer here? No.
Clearly you.
So hit the on button, heater goes on. It's awesome. And we don't use it at night. We like it cold at night, so we just use it in the morning, and I can just turn that sucker on and go back to sleep, and it'll be nice and toasty in here when we're ready to get up and make our coffee.
Perfect.
Okay. So this is our non-sink side of our counter. Really beautiful, live edge, wormy, with all these great flaws in it. Eric did such a great job on this. And so we had to design this lower to fit this painting because we weren't leaving this painting behind. This is another painting by our friend Mitchell Johnson, and it was a wedding present for us from him. So it was definitely coming with us. So we designed this side so that it would fit here, meaning this counter is much lower than the other counter. And we have in this drawer our stove. So our stove comes out, fits right here. And it's perfect because this is lower and this stove has, you know, this much more height on it, that it actually worked out perfect to have this counter as a lower counter since it's our cooking counter. And then when we're done with our stove, we just have this awesome little, tiny little propane tank that lasts us for like a month if we just use it for the stove. This just hooks on. It's really easy. Goes, just fits right back there, and then when we're done with it, it just goes right back in its very messy drawer and goes away. This is our fridge. Eric made this little hideaway drawer. We have 2 locks on it for travel. And then it just rolls right out. Right now we're using this side as a freezer, this side is our fridge. It's a winter. We've had it for over a year now. It's worked spectacularly. We love it. Eric changed it over. We used to have to hook it up to the inverter, but Eric changed it over to the 12 volts. It's using less power and it works phenomenally. We love it. So I would highly recommend that. This is how spice drawer. See from the compartment, so there's this little cool little secret space. So he designed it out so that it looks like the drawer's still there. Very cool. But these drawers hold a lot. All my all-clad pans, dishes. All our dishes are in this drawer. I mean, we don't have that many. And then this one is kind of crazy. It's got plastic bags, pans. But it all fits. Use these little paracord things to keep everything closed, which they work great. So these cabinets Eric made out of this red cedar. If you could tell, this is all one board. So they're all, you know, it's just all one pattern. Super light, so they don't add that much weight. This is where I keep all my clothes, up here. So all my clothes are accessible. I love that. And a little shelf for our pretty things. Here is our Max fan. It works wonderfully. Wow, I have that on high.
So quiet.
It's actually kind of a little loud because when I took it apart to clean it, I didn't put it. I gotta put it on straighter to put it back in, just so everyone knows that. But they get really dirty, but they're really, really easy to take apart to clean. This is my wonderful kitchen area. Now, this is our Berkey. Of course, most of you know what these are. It's a water purification system. It works wonderfully. We have put river water, alpine river water, in this thing. And it's come out clean. Okay, so this is kind of a lot of stuff going on here, as you can tell. So this is our inverter. This is our water pump switch. So when it's on, our water comes on. And when it's off, it still comes on a little bit, but then stops. Max fan. These are for our fairy lights. And we have to turn the inverter on because they're plugged into that. But then they turn on. Brighter, with different colors. We have a lot of fun with those. This is our Victron
Control
monitor. And this is our smoke and carbon monoxide detector. And so, when we designed this, I was trying to talk Eric into not having a sink at all, if you can believe that, because I had this crazy idea that we really didn't need one. Well, that was stupid. Because when we decided to get a sink, I said, well, if I'm going to get a sink, I'm going to get the biggest sink that I can, so I did. This actually was the size sink that we had in our apartment, and I loved that size. You can just stick a lot of stuff in there. And so when you have a sink like this, usually you just have a bin that you use as your wash bin. I kind of have one of those right here that I use. It fits right in there. So that works for me very well. We have this great water spigot. When I turn the thing on, then it works real good. We do not have hot water. I just heat a little water up on the stove when I need to do some dishes. That has worked fine for us. We were talking about getting a hot water heater. I'd say if you have a shower or something, yeah, but for us, we don't really use it, so it's not something that we're gonna need I don't think. This counter is high because we're both tall, so to have a good workspace, I wanted to make sure that it was comfortable. It very much is. Eric built in some really cool things like this pantry. Keeps all of our oils and vinegars and some of our spices and some stuff like that. We have a nice big under sink area where we can fit all kinds of stuff. And that's the plumbing. We have a 12-gallon gray tank underneath the bus. And then this is our freshwater tank. Half of it is here.
15 gallon.
15-gallon freshwater tank. Kind of goes between the closet and the under the sink there. Extra 5 gallons. And then we have an extra 3 gallons in the bathroom. And so that will get us 5 days of boondocking without much problem. So that's nice.
What's in the drawers?
What's in the drawers? This is our silverware and all of my other tool drawer. Very, very messy. This is, we don't want to talk about what's in there. And then food. All kinds of food. So. And then this is awesome. Eric made me this wonderful drop down cutting board. I use this all the time. That's my main prep surface. So again, just like on the other side, this is all one continuous board, and I have lots of good space. Eric's clothes are up here, and then coffee and some ghee, salt, pepper, just basic stuff up there.
All right, so this is the bathroom, and again, it's big enough that if we wanted to line it and make it waterproof and everything, it could be a shower space for people. You know, it's big enough. It's basically 32 inches square, essentially, behind the driver's seat here. But as we talked about before, I used just 2 panels like this that are a tongue and groove panel, but instead of using a 2x2 and having to put material on both sides of it, I just used this nice simple U-shaped channel here, a C channel of aluminum that just happens to fit perfectly for the size of this wood to fit right in there. So I'll link the video from when I was originally doing all this so you can see how that was done, but real nice space saver for when you're in a smaller vehicle, and especially if you're going to do a Sprinter or things like that where you have even less width. But this is our composting toilet. I basically mimicked the C-head style of a toilet. Pardon the reality of bathrooms, but basically it's a 5-gallon bucket with a 1-gallon milk jug down underneath. And the most expensive aspect of it was the separator piece here, this fiberglass piece that separates things out. I created inside the bucket, one of the things that composting toilets have is that basically, you separate the solids from the liquids, but once you do the solids, you want to, in the peat moss or composting matter, you want to mix it up after the fact. And so what I did was I created a simple basically, it's a mixer like you would use for mixing plaster or mortar, and bought a super cheap drill from Walmart, and this fits right on the end of the unit. So once your business is done, we just hook it right on there, mix it around, does its job, hangs right back up above the toilet here, and
that's the flush.
And that's it. Yeah.
That's our flushy.
And again, we can go usually, I tend to not use it as often as Robin does. Being a dude, I can go outside for the liquid side of things. Yeah. And but basically it goes a good month or more before we have to redo the composting material and stuff. Lots of shelving in here. I created, again, trying to utilize every inch of space. A little hard to see with some of this, but again, this was all that cedar that I had still, all this material here. So we've got storage up above the toilet and several shelves, and then a whole nother set over here that has got quite a bit on it, and then more all down below as well. And And then this actually goes up and down also, but we kind of leave it up typically just because we might as well, just for privacy. All right, so then this is our big closet. It's got lots of purposes in there. Clothing storage obviously is one biggie, but it's also our electrical closet. We've got the there was the way that it worked out putting in our jumper seat. I jogged the wall over, as you can see. It goes over here, you know, about 18 inches, and then it jogs forward about 6 inches, and then over toward the front door. So it created this whole cavity in the back here that the inverter fit nicely in there, and then up above, which is hard to see, but some of the other components, the various hubs and things. But if you back up a little, you can see here, this is the bus bar with all the negative and positives for all the 12 volts. Got the Victron charge controller here, which is phenomenal. It's on Bluetooth, so we can see what we're up to all the time. That's the heater controller for down below underneath, and again has that fob, so we can take care of that.
Vent right
Yep,
there.
and that's the heat vent. And then these are our two Battleborn 100 amp hour batteries, and again, they're lithium iron phosphate. They're super light. These two batteries weigh less than 60 pounds between them, and it's 200 amp hours, and you can actually use 190 amp hours. You know, typical AGMs and those, they don't want you to go under 50%, so you can have 200 amp hours of AGM batteries, but you really only have 100 amp hours of power.
Right.
Here we've got a ton more power, and lithium iron phosphate also is a lot safer. They don't burn up and blow up like other ones. And this is the end of our 15-gallon water tank. You can see it kind of sits, so it sort of straddles between this closet and underneath the cabinetry there. Yeah, and our nice little rechargeable.
It's got a really cool little vacuum there.
Yeah, our little vacuum there that we have for keeping things clean. Yeah, a little brush and whoops, dustpan brush to help when we don't want to use the vacuum.
Dirty clothes.
Lots of clothes, a big shelf on top for other storage and stuff. Got a fireproof bag here for some of our more important paperwork that we want to be sure to be safe. But that's pretty much it. And again, this is pared down from what we had. I mean, and again, obviously for some people this wouldn't work. You know, you'd need a lot more storage. Where for us, it's plenty. I mean, again, there's probably still some more I could get rid of. That some shirts that I really never wear.
Right.
But. So this is how the front looks right now while we're in filming mode, and while we're in process here. Got all of our various electronics charging and being charged up here, but again, this front window was not here, and I found this on eBay for $40, and I'll again link to the video of installing that. It was a nice, fairly simple process, but and then up here is our, this is more of the redwood, same as I used for that back table. And this is where the original electrical panel kind of is for the rig that was when we first bought it. Basically just mostly left it alone. I added a few things to it, but basically left that, so now that's still accessible. Even used the original latches that came with that originally. But here's some of our some more artwork for us. This was actually a nice little painting that our friend Nathan did for us, or had, and that we always loved, and he gave it to us when we were leaving California way back when, over 25 years ago. We love it. On our little aluminum channel here, we took one of those little sanders, and Robin did all this and just oscillated around with a little orbital sander and created this cool little pattern on there. And again, this is just the two channels put together, and it's just pop riveted. One is kind of angled that way, and then the other one is angled that way, and creates a channel for the material to just slide in there, and then slide in over on this side. And again, saves a lot of space and holds a lot of stuff together. And this is where we keep all of our Reflectix pieces. We've got pieces for up in the front here, up this window up above, as well as the windows in the back, and we kind of just keep all that stored back in there. It's good and heavy duty. So,
seatbelt,
got
all safety.
we're all legal for having a passenger ride along. And then again, it's one of the funny things about having a vehicle like this was that it's fiberglass and it wasn't metal and like a normal bus. So we didn't have the steel to stick magnets to everywhere. So I actually stuck, glued on these pieces of metal so that we'd have somewhere to hang all of our magnets and goodies here. And I did some of that on both sides here. And slowly gathering together all of our various magnets that we gather from all the great state national parks. Hey, who's that? What's that about? So another thing that we had a little head scratcher figuring out was how can we hold this door shut when and keep it locked from inside. Again, we used to have the big mechanism that was attached over here that, you know, the driver, you could just, you know, manually open and close the door, and the mechanism is still in up above here. So when you move one door, they both move, which is nice. So what I did was, basically I just installed this little kick latch, kind of a latch here at the bottom. So basically, and I drilled a hole through the step down there, so you just step on that. Now that closes it up. And then, for extra security here, back it up a little bit, I installed these, there's bars on, it's a little hard to see, running bolted all the way in on both sides here and here for the strength of it. And then just used a big hasp, and we just use a very simple bolt that just goes on there. We push it down in, and we're locked up from inside. So, does the trick. So yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about our exterior that we've haven't really done too much with the paint or anything, but we did add our storage boxes and the diamond plate and everything here. One of the big things that we did last year, again, when we blew our tires near Moab, was get these nice new all-terrain tires, good Cooper Discover AT3s. They've gone over a year now and they've been fantastic and holding up great. We love those. Okay. So these were the original, the 200-watt panels that were on the roof before. We did our upgrade back a few months ago. We switched out these ones. These are the very thin, flexible little panels that were basically just taped to the roof, which was nice, and they worked okay, but they just weren't really enough power. So we added 280-watt or 170-watt panels. So now we have 340 on the roof, and again, the big thing that people don't understand is, especially like this time of the year, if the angle of the sun is fairly low. So if you got a couple of panels that are fairly flat mounted on the roof of your vehicle, they're not getting any really optimal sunshine much during the course of the day. They're going to pick up some, but they're not going to get the optimal amount. So what we did is I took these two and just made these simple little PVC racks or frames for them, based on RVing with Tito's videos that he did. And they have suction cups on them, so if we need to or if we want to, we can actually mount them up against the vehicle here. We'll show some pictures of that, and basically so they can work as like an awning or a shade over the window and then be generating power for you as you're doing it. So but when we've got these and the ones on the roof, we've got a potential of 400 or 540 watts of solar going on to keep our two Battleborn batteries nicely charged. So yeah, so we just got these awesome boxes installed. They're Buyers is the maker, and basically between the wheel well and here, didn't have enough room for 48. So two boxes together gave me 42 inches. And again, I'll refer to the previous video of installing these, but this one is the same height as this one, but it's not as deep because of the springs on the back needed space. But this one's 24 inches and 14 inches deep. And this has our two 12-volt deep cycle batteries that came that were originally, or these are new ones, but there were two that came with the bus. It used to have a wheelchair lift and all that stuff. So basically, that's what is controlled by that box up by above the driver's seat. Kind of all the general operating stuff of the bus. And then I also have, again, this is the heater tank, the gas tank for the diesel heat for our little diesel heater. Fits in there nicely and stores away in there, and got a whole video on all that. And then this one is 18 inches wide, but not as deep, and quite full with all of the goodies. But this one we keep all of our wiper fluid, oil, antifreeze, all that good stuff for kind of dealing with the vehicle. Got our OBD2 tester to be able to keep monitor and check on the things if a check engine light comes on, things like that, random rags and stuff. And the kit for changing the oil on our generator is also there, but that just goes that way, turns, and then they are lockable also. So we just put our fancy new fender flares on. This was the side that was wiped out from the blown tires last year. And then this one here is, again, it's another one it's 24 inches wide like this one, but it's only the 12 inches deep like the other one. And again, just a simple turn. And that one we've got our bucket, our fill hose, all that kind of stuff. I keep the hatchet and some other goodies in here. This one's more for the kind of the camping gear and bus related stuff in that way. And then of course the Instagram doors. Again, this was where the wheelchair lift was originally, so thankfully it had been removed already before we bought it, so we didn't have to mess around with it like a lot of people have had to in videos I've seen. But this way it gives us, we try to aim it towards an incredible view wherever we are, and have our awesome view. We've got room for some more storage here underneath this side of the bed. And again, I created the bed so that this one can be opened and closed actually here. This one slides back underneath as well, and if without the table we could come and go from this through this doorway if we want. So a whole nother storage here underneath this end of the bench with some of the Robin's cookware that is not used as often. Instapot in there. What is it? A couple other things.
Vitamix.
The Vitamix, some other stuff that
Cuisinart.
Cuisinart. So that's kind of we rarely use it, but it gives us that option, and flexible option there. And then over here under the bed is where we've got all this other storage here. It goes all the way back to the other side of the vehicle, so we can put pretty long things in there and store quite a bit when we are traveling. And we've got an extra chair that we have, a little, and then this is our little folding table that we just recently got. Actually, it's bamboo and nice one that we can set up outside for camping outside and doing what we got to do in the outdoors. I look ridiculous in my sweats like that. No,
you look kind of cute actually.
I'm comfy
with your little beer T-shirt.
Yeah. So again, this is our back of the bus. Obviously, we've got this back door that works. Open all the way out this way. You can access the bay underneath the bus or the bed real well back there. More all that storage under there. All the goodies we got. You can move the cushions if we want and kind of have both doors wide open and get all kinds of nice airflow and everything kind of passing through there. And then we just recently added these jerry cans. Nice holders for them. And this one is regular unleaded gas that we use for the generator that we occasionally use, and almost never, and more for just tool usage. And then this one's diesel for the if we needed it to in a pinch we can use it to gas up the vehicle, but it's also for our little diesel heater. So got plenty for that. Bought this little carrier on eBay in Wisconsin for $30, and it's held up well for getting us extra goodies on the back here. Not as much on there as we've had in the past, luckily, but works out good, and we're going to hopefully in the near future be at a point where we can just get rid of it and not have to have that with us at all anymore. Oh, and then this is our little telescoping ladder for getting up to our the roof of the bus and to our little rack up there. This just undoes, it comes undone. It's 10.5 feet tall. They make them at, you know, all different heights. You can get a 12-footer if you need taller for like a bigger, taller bus or whatever. 10.5 was just fine for us. Classic, you know, just Amazon for about $80, something like that. But then we can, if we do need to store anything up on the rack on the roof, we can easily get up and down and get to it.
Or just go up there
Or to just go up and hang out and enjoy the view. That's right. All right, so and then our last side here, not as much happening over here, but just did one more box on this side, another 24-inch box that matches the one on the other side. Had to move it over because of the gas tank here, but right now it's empty because it's got, this is where these levelers live when they're not in use. But that just closes up there. And I just did a little bit of the diamond plate here around the air conditioning unit. And I think if we had a chance, or if we would have been doing it differently up front, if you're starting a shuttle conversion and you, like us, aren't planning to be where it's going to be really hot or really cold, tear this thing out. You know, I mean, we were kind of bumming because we could have gotten rid of that whole huge unit up in the back of the bus and this whole thing.
We still might.
And yeah, we still could. It's just going to be a little harder to do since we're already finished everywhere. So, but there's as much space here as there was on the other side that we could have been doing more storage and stuff. All right, yeah. So this is our new tow vehicle. Needs some new tires still, but we did a little bit of work on it. It's a 2009 Subaru Forester. Real nice rig. You know, it's all-wheel drive, so we can take it all different places. It was the premium package, so it has some nice little details and stuff on it that most of the typical ones don't have. But it has a big back area that we can store all tons of the extra tools or camping gear. So yeah, so it's got a nice big hatch here. Can put lots of goodies in there, and there's a full-size spare underneath the back, underneath all this. Got a little bit of wood to burn out here, and again, and this is funny, this is like tools pared down, so, and a few things though that we're going to try to sell or get rid of down at the in Arizona when we get down there. But real nice little unit, we like it. All right, so
Well, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, share, and definitely subscribe to our channel. And
thanks for watching, everybody, and yeah,
see you soon.
safe travels.